All right, we're back, and we're going to get down and dirty in some combat right now. So why don't everyone roll some initiative, and we'll see just how much these 4 Crosons can beat up on you all.
There's my 5. Total of 5.
Total of 5. Okay.
I told you guys, as soon as the fight starts, I gotta start balancing the cosmic scale.
By the way.
10 for Sparks.
I'm sorry, that's initiative roll?
Yes, initiative, please.
All right, I got 4.
All right.
Might as well not break my streak now.
24.
Excellent.
Outlier.
All right, so if he kills an innocent civilian, it's not on me.
You'd like to think that.
There are no innocents.
Well, relative.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me quote some bad Judge Dredd and say, guilt and innocence is just a question of timing. Armand Asante, I'll still love you anyway.
Yep. So you're about 100 meters from the entrance to the starport. There's like a road that's kind of jutting out to your right, and that's where these people are coming from as you were walking, like basically towards the front doors of the starport. So like the road you're on is like kind of like dead ending into the starport, and there's like an offshoot road to your right where these people are coming from. They're only about 30 meters away, or shoot, we use feet in this, so I'll say 30. They're about 30 feet away. Even that's not the exact calculation there, but we'll just say they're 30 feet away.
Check.
I'm gonna draw. Well, I don't know if it's my turn.
It is your turn, in fact.
What a surprise!
I'm good. Hey, I gotta be good at something. So I will draw my Plasma Guide Series 21 sniper rifle and take an aimed shot at one of the wooden clubs from one of the ones in the lead.
Okay.
They're clearly like advancing. Are they like roaring and shouting stuff or anything like that?
They haven't shouted anything, but they're so the 2 that are in the leader are gripping these wooden devices, bats, for all intents and purposes, and they're kind of like sneering at you, and they're like hauling it. They're like running towards you.
I'm gonna. Can I get a quick culture roll just to make sure these aren't like sports hooligans, because there's supposed to be a sports event today.
Yeah.
Sports hooligans.
Yep.
All right, with the culture bonus of 9, I roll a 14.
Okay. You don't exactly know what the cultural sports hooligans might look like here. It's really hard to tell. The thing, though, that tips you off that this might be a little bit more serious are the ones that have like guns drawn, and they seem a little bit more less likely to be sports hooligans. But I mean, you don't know the culture. Maybe that's all part of the fun games.
Well, in that case, I shoot one of the wooden clubs.
Okay.
All right, let's see. +5 to attack. 19 to 24.
And this is an energy weapon, correct?
Yes, it is an energy weapon and a flaming weapon.
Excellent. Yeah, you succeed. How much damage?
Roll my paltry D8. It's a 3.
All right. So the fiery bolt leaves the barrel of your gun, and it strikes right on the tip of the bat. It chars it in a a big burst of flames. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any structural damage to the bat, but the tip is on fire now, so you have that going for you.
Having shot, can I make a quick intimidate roll? I'm really doing this to try to scare them off. Otherwise, I'd be, shooting off their heads.
I think you've used all the actions you're going to get for the round.
That's fair.
You can certainly follow it up next time with an intimidation check if you'd like. But it's now their turn, and the two of them with bats are rushing forward. One's going to run up towards you, Belasco, and the other's going to run up towards Zan, and they're both going to attempt to strike you. The one with the flaming bat is trying to attack Belasco, and that's who I'm going to roll first.
Oh gods, I gave him fire.
So I have a 22 against your kinetic armor, Belasco.
2 against my kinetic armor. Yeah, that hits me.
Okay. So he runs up with his bat and he thrusts it right into your torso. The flaming end first. I mean, it's not like a huge flames, but it's there's flames coming off of it even in the strong winds for 7 points of damage.
Oh yay!
He unsurprisingly does not shift his grip to be holding the burning end and then attack.
If only.
Right?
Zan, the one coming from you is taking a nice big swing right towards your head, and has a roll of 23 to your kinetic.
That is gonna hit.
All right. So luckily for you, you do have some armor in that area, and you take also 7 points of damage.
Okay.
The two with guns are gonna one each is gonna fire at the other two members of the group. I have a 14 kinetic against Sparks and an 11 kinetic against Thane. You hear the loud crack as you see a sort of a fiery explosion come from the tip of the two handheld pistol devices.
Yeah, that's a miss on me.
Me as well.
Okay, so neither of you are struck.
But I stuck.
That felt real.
Sparks, it is your turn.
Okay. The two that are shooting are staying back.
Yeah, they're staying back. One of them has sort of dipped behind a trash can that's on the street, and the other one's a little bit more brazen and just standing next to the first one.
I will punish him. I will call up magic missile, and I will fire 2 of the missiles, and kind of duck behind whatever I can duck behind.
Okay. You can find a tree, like a willow tree to kind of get behind. You're easily small enough to get cover behind one.
Oh, willow tree. I roll 2d4 plus 2, and it is 9 points.
I'm sorry. What? Can you say that number again?
9.
9. Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, I was like, did I say that out loud?
No, I was looking at some stats that I had written down, and I read it over a number the same time you said yours, and it my brain kind of lost both.
No problem.
So yeah.
So basically, I go diving for the tree and put myself on the side and then summon 2 little swirly balls of electricity which go flying at the brazen weapon brand.
All right. Thane.
All right. I'm going to use, it's not even necessarily a move, but I'm going to bodily put myself in front of our tour guide dude, and just kind of a, rote, get behind me, sir, type of thing. So call it like a 5-foot step type of vibe, just between the civilian and the threat.
Right, you're already right next to him, so that's very easy.
But it's that type of body language, and and he'll actually say stay down, sir, as he's snapping up his tactical plasma bolter, which I get to fire for the first time now. Right? And I'll go ahead and use my move action to do the envoy trick of get him, and that'll give me a +1 on this guy and anybody else that attacks this guy. I don't know how likely that is to happen since we've all got our own dance partners, but it's the principle of the thing. So here's my attack roll. I've got a total of +5. That's a 12, so a 17 to hit against his energy.
Yes, that will hit.
Excellent. And here comes a D10 for damage, using the brightest, gaudiest D10 I had, because it's a badass plasma gun. That is 8 points.
Okay, and this is the one that shot at you, correct?
Yeah, or no, this is the one that she already shot at. So he's
okay.
Fire. Yeah, and this is the one that doesn't have cover, so we'll punish him for not taking cover.
You do punish him indeed. Can you describe how he goes down?
I am often going to describe firing this tactical plasma bolter as though it were bursts, because it does use up 4 charges per attack. And in my head, that's, because it's semi-auto and I'm shooting more than once. So he just shoulders it, snaps it up with that kind of robot-like military precision. The flurry of shots, let's say 2 of the 4 kind of hit this guy, and then the guy drops, and the last couple shots, chew into a wall behind him. It's plasma bolts, so I'm picturing a really cool, a bright green kind of carryover from other sci-fi worlds with plasma weapons, but that sort of iridescent, green fire type of thing, just smack into the guy. His clothes are probably smoldering some as he falls, because it's energy and fire damage is what the plasma bolter does. So yeah, I figure it does a number on this guy. Sorry, buddy. Don't shoot people with better tech than yours.
Very well. Zan.
Okay, ignoring the person who hit me in the head, I'm going to switch to my attunement to photon mode. As I do so, my body begins to glow bright white. And I'm going to take a guarded step towards the attacker who's attacking Velasco and strike at him with my Solarian weapon, which is formed into this large sword-like thing of white plasma.
Okay.
And I've got a 17 to hit.
Oh yeah, you definitely hit.
And 12 damage.
Okay, that's enough to drop this guy. Go ahead and describe how he downs.
Gripping the plasma blade in both hands, I bring him down right across his back, and he drops from there.
Into pieces?
Balar kind of screams out in surprise, "Whoa, what the hell are you doing? What's going on? Stop this madness. Belasco, Zan has just eliminated the threat that was right in front of you.
I'm kind of leaning out of the way so he can shoot the one attacking me.
Is the one who is attacking Zan close enough for melee?
For you or for Zan?
For me.
Yeah, with a 5-foot step, yes.
Could I fit that in with a standard action and an attack?
Yes.
Okay. I will activate holographic clones. So, doop-a-doop-doop-doo. 2 more Belascos appear.
Okay.
And I will... Where's my D20? Yeah. And I will spring out my survival knife and make a trick attack against that adds its damage to the knife, right?
Trick attack does a couple things, yes.
Okay, but I could use it to like layer a D4 on top of the D4?
Trick attacks are a full action.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll just bring up my rifle and point blank them. So... 16 plus 5. Yeah, 21.
Yep. That definitely hit.
Shazam. All right. Does a D8. 8.
Okay. Yes. So that hits. It does not drop. So the big fiery burst comes out of your gun again and strikes the guy right in the chest, and he staggers a little bit. But Crosons are very stable and down, so it's only like 1 step backwards. But that's probably a big deal for Crosons to be able to have to rebalance themselves. And of course,
psychological damage.
The shirt's a little bit burning now as well from all the energy from the attack. Not like huge in flames, but it's like there's some small fires going on.
So Zan angles in, knocks down the one that just poked me. I pop up, lay my rifle in the crook of my arm, and thwomp of plasma right into its chest.
Okay. He's very upset about that. And so he's going to try to smack you for revenge. Oh no.
Will he have to get around me to get to...
So he takes a 5-foot step to get over into melee range. He's technically in melee with both of you at the moment.
Fair enough.
And I have a 15 against kinetic armor.
Haha, I have a 15. Goes to the defender,
that
right?
Is unfortunately not in this system.
Balls.
So that'll be 3 bludgeoning damage as he wallops you right in the side.
Let's go to stamina or hit points.
Stamina first.
Okay.
Did that... Alright. Did you remember to make the cool roll for mirror image?
Oh, no, I didn't.
I thought that was for ranged attacks. No, you're right.
Is that a percentage-based effect?
Yeah, it's whenever you are attacked, there's a possibility that it hits one of the mirror images. So there were... You summoned 2 more,
2
right?
extra. Yep. So
there'll be a 1 in 3 chance that
1
it's
in 3
you.
chance. All right. So,
anytime an attack hits, you roll randomly to see if it hits you or a figment.
So I did connect with the correct Belasco. According to the theory. So he
couldn't hurt to check.
That did not sound like a hologram.
It wasn't.
And so we have one more shooter who's going to shoot at Thane.
Excellent.
I have a 16 against kinetic.
That is a miss.
Wow. You have a good armor class.
He does.
Sparks, what would you like to do?
I'd like to wave my hand and make all these people disappear. But that's not happening.
Sorry,
So what I will... Is there a way to maneuver a single 5-foot move where I could get a cone, like a 15-foot cone, to encompass more than one of the back?
You want to make a clone of yourself?
A cone.
Oh, a cone.
Like for a spell.
15 feet. You would need to move more than 5 feet in order to get a 15-foot cone. So your enemy is about 25 feet away from you, so you're going to have to move a little bit more than the 5 feet. So it would take a standard movement action to do that.
I will do so, darting from cover to cover like the little silky I am.
Okay.
So that's a full move, and that's all I can do.
Okay. Thane.
All right, I will... He did shoot at me, but I do have 2 other friends engaged in melee with another guy. So, I will go attack the one that's in melee, and I will try to give him a good whack on the head with my tactical baton, which, by the rules, doesn't have non-lethal, but it's a baton, so I can tell myself that I am trying to take one alive, as I say, take one alive, and just wail on this guy. And Thane actually, like, if there were combat footage to be watched in slow-mo later, like, you guys would see that he's actually grabbing for where his sidearm normally is, but he pointedly left his pulsecaster pistol with our friend on the ship. So his hand just kind of crawls along the side of his armor, and he comes up with his baton as he rushes in instead. The good news is the tactical baton's an operative weapon, so I get to use my dex instead of my strength. The bad news is that's still only a +3 to hit. That is a 19, makes it a 22.
Oh, whoa. Yes.
Dope. It's not a critical or anything cool, though, I think. And it is only a D4 damage, but he's already hurt. Let the gods smile. Oh, it's 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you can tell your baton is definitely less hefty than the big bats that your target is using.
Yeah, but their big bats don't have the word tactical attached, so mine is certainly cooler.
Tactical plank. Tactical 2x4.
Zan.
Tactical.
All right. Taking a guarded step, I'd like to get into flanking of one of these 2 melee partners I have.
Okay.
Kind of turning on my heel as my aura gets brighter. I strike at the individual we're trying to bring alive, and let's hope that happens. 8 to hit, +5 is 13, +2 from flanking is that 15.
Yes, that definitely works.
Ooh, minimum damage, so that is going to be 8 damage.
Okay. And this is still lethal damage, yes?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
But I have kindness in my heart.
Well, you lash out at all the kindness you can muster, and your plasma weapon just rips open the skin of this guy as like his stomach just kind of like spills out all over the sidewalk.
I kind of look away and
drops.
then I go, we still have one more, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah. So Balar is still kind of confused, and so he says, "What are you doing? What is wrong with you all? Stop! Stop this madness!" And we'll go to Belasco again.
Have I got somebody in melee range?
Not anymore. There is one combatant left, kind of taking cover behind a metal trash can.
All right, I'm
not intimidate.
I'm going to use harrying fire against them for a so make an attack roll against an AC of 15. 15 on nose. And it says here, I do no damage, but the next ally to attack that foe gets a +2 circumstance bonus for theirs, as long as it happens before the next turn.
Okay, so essentially... All right, yeah,
That
so you
was
kind of
awesome.
drive him out of cover a little bit by your shots. He's trying to like dodge what you're doing, but it kind of exposes part of him that he didn't realize, making it easier for the rest of the team to take shots.
Literally just scaring him with big green bolts of drow plasma.
All right, so he's going to take a shot at Zan with the big glowy sword. I have a 14 against kinetic armor.
I think that hits me. Double check. That is exactly what you need.
Okay. I have 2 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Taking the shot in the back, I kind of shrug and I turn around and look at the target who shot me.
Kind of smiles back at you.
He's
It just got you. Like a sense of confidence that is not really warranted in this situation.
As she turns around, Xana's also grinning.
Sparks.
So this is all everybody's focused on my guy.
He's the only one left.
I don't know what his CR is. I don't know what his CR is because I don't think in CR. So I'm gonna try and daze him with a flash of Technicolor.
Okay. Don't forget your push to talk button.
Sorry. Said his CR 3 or lower is what he has to be for it to be any kind of.
Okay. And what's the willpower save difficulty? I couldn't hear you.
It is
It's like a ham
will,
radio.
Right.
which negates it entirely.
Yeah,
And,
what's the
if it
number?
has resistance,
What's the
it's
will
just will
DC?
negates.
The will, the DC for this spell. What is it?
It's from your character. It's based on the level of the spell and your attribute.
Alright, well then it's going to be 10 plus 15.
Okay. So yeah, you definitely can tell you've dazed this person. The smile that was on his face kind of like drops down to just like a neutral expression, and instead of holding the gun at the ready, just kind of like drops down to his sides. He's just kind of standing there like unsure of the whole situation all of a sudden.
I really didn't expect that to work.
This is Thane.
All right.
Get him now!
I will rush him. So my as part of my, because with a high enough base attack bonus, you can combine moving and drawing and whatever. So he's gonna just like do a reverse draw weapon thing and magna clamp his tactical bolter onto his back again, so that he's got one hand free to in the fluff kind of grapple type of stuff, and the other hand with his baton, and he's just gonna rush over there and start wailing on this dude. Again with his mighty D4 baton. 17 to hit, modifies to a 20. So he will face the wrath of my D4. No, it's 4 points.
4 points.
Unfortunately, I don't get to reroll and add, because this isn't Earth Dawn. But mighty 4 points of bashing damage.
It's as mighty as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you put all your strength into it, and you hit as hard as you can. He stands there and takes it. The big thud, like you can tell, like you probably cracked some internal bone or something in there, but he stands there strong and sturdy.
And Thane's just gonna go like, he's gonna grunt out like, "Drop it," as part of the whack.
Okay.
Drop the gun. Drop it.
The duration is 1 round, just so you remember.
Okay.
Now fully attuned, I turn with my eyes glowing white and motes of white energy forming my body before evaporating up into the air like drops of water going the worst direction. And I turn towards our guide, and I'm going to yell, "Explain who these are." And I'm going to use it, basically this action to do an intimidate roll.
Okay, make an intimidate test then.
Got looks like a total of 14.
Okay. He seems really terrified of you because you're, glowing with white everywhere, and he's like, "But who? Tell you who are? There's no one here. Stop! Put down your weapons." And then he gets really sort of like cowering, kind of like hiding, afraid that you're about to do to him what you just were doing to these other people.
Can I make a will save to disbelieve illusion?
You may.
I'm going to let his response just kind of hang in the air.
I got a 21.
Yeah, so you kind of do like a double take and look around at the situation, and there's no one around you other than yourselves and Balar. You can see like the evidence of the fire of your weapons into the grounds around you all, and into like some of the structures like off in the distance.
Have we taken? Well, I don't know if have we taken damage then?
You kind of look back at yourself, remembering that you got struck by that bat, and notice that there is not actually anything wrong with you. Obviously, you no longer feel hurt. Like you don't feel the stinging of that sensation anymore either.
Stand down, everyone. We're going insane.
Everyone else can make a will power save as well.
That's a 14.
15.
7.
Zan, this doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense to you what they're saying. This is definitely not. I mean, that you definitely felt that puncture from being shot. You don't know what going insane has to do with that, but there's still one of them out there.
I'm gonna yell, "There's still one more!"
I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna walk over to where I remember the last one and occupy the same space that it does.
Okay. Zan, you can make another check.
Okay, a 20 this time.
Okay. Yeah, like the moment that Velasco kind of like walks into this space, you see Velasco like walk through this person and instantly, like, the reality snaps back into place.
Ow! No! Oh, shit! I look around and I let go of all my energy and de-attune myself.
I gesture as though to go, see?
Thane will compose himself for a moment, and then like mag clamp his tactical baton back in place, and look apologetically at our rattled local guide.
Wide-eyed, I will sheathe my pistol and I will let my Solarian weapon vanish. Sorry, go ahead, Rusty.
We must go, and I'll give Belasco a look, like get Zan back to the ship, and then look back to our guide, like we must go.
I think that would be for the best, yes.
I'm gonna gently take Zan by the hand. Come on, just follow me.
Yeah.
Lead back to the ship. And I'm taking sensor readings of both of us at this point.
Okay, make a physical science skill check to do the readings.
Nat 20!
I'm examining my armor where I got shot. And
27 if
no
you
hole
want.
there.
Okay. Zan, you don't find any holes in your armor. It seems that even though the sensation was very real of being shot, there's no evidence that anything actually punctured your armor. I mean, unless you like check your skin later. For now, there's no evidence of you being actually shot. Belasco, the readings on your device, you see that signal is definitely stronger here than it was where you previously were. Readings pertaining to both you and Zan show some heightened stress levels, lots of
adrenaline.
Yeah,
Belasco.
Those sorts of things. There's not. There doesn't seem to be any sort of interplay that you can tell with that device between that signal and you or Zan, but you're not really quite sure if this device could even pick up such an interaction.
Belasco, am I broadcasting the signal you picked up earlier?
No, but the signal is stronger here. I think we have a correlation. All in all, I'd say this is very good news.
Yeah, it's great.
No, we have a clue. We didn't kill any of the locals, and speaking for myself, I'm only out 3 plasma charges.
That's true. I don't think we killed anybody.
I'm gonna pull out one of my little cigars, light it on the still heated tip of my plasma rifle, and say, "Come along now. Lead back to the ship."
Yeah.
Thane, don't dally. I think we've scared them enough.
I am still busy trying to diplome over the rough edges left here. So yeah, he's just going to be very sincerely apologetic and let how rattled he feels show, and just explain. We thought, all 4 of us thought that we were being attacked. There were 4 of them, and he'll describe that they looked, they were a species appropriate to your world. I felt that shot bounce off my armor, and I'll try to show him where one of them kind of winged me and ricocheted off harmlessly, but he's like, it was some sort of illusion or something. We will go. I am sorry. We will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do one thing before we leave, because I stuck with him. I want to do a detect magic again, and I don't know, use it like a Geiger counter almost down this little alley for to where we first saw them or where they were first brought to our.
Okay. when you do that, you get some magical traces that correspond to the magic that you used. So the evocation, I believe, from the combat spells, and the mental magic from the days that you cast. There doesn't really seem to be any other kind of magic going on in this area. Just mostly like what came off of you during your spell casting.
Okay. At least that tells me that it's working, and it's just not there. So I will go back with Thane, trudging behind him, looking very downtrodden and sad with my whiskers and ears.
All right, can everyone make another willpower save, please?
We can try.
Natural 1.
That was the first roll.
17, so a 21 total.
At 11 here.
Okay.
I have a 9.
Okay. You all have no problems getting back onto the ship. Zan, however, you do notice that face is back in the corner of that window once again.
I almost mentioned it, but I don't say anything.
Okay. So Sally greets you. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you here again.
Sally, do me a favor. Restrict all privileged access to computers for myself for the next 24 hours.
Why? You're the pilot.
Yeah, just do it, please. Pilot's fine, but nothing critical.
So
Sally, you
That is
have
pretty critical.
Sally. Do you have autopilot capabilities?
I do, yes.
We have reason to
I'm afraid I may
believe that
not
we
be
are.
as talented.
I'm afraid we are potentially compromised by whatever afflicted the previous crew.
Oh no. What happened?
We're
Are you
experiencing physical and auditory hallucinations.
Oh.
Hence, I would think a pilot above any of us would be a much greater threat flying than you.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. I'm a computer system, and yeah, I don't think I can experience any of those things.
Well, hopefully we won't have to find out.
Yeah, let's hope.
Just get
What's
us
the other place
airborne,
we're supposed to
please,
go?
Sally.
Sorry.
Just get us airborne, please, Sally.
Oh, absolutely.
What's the name of that
Belasco.
other continent?
Yalinar.
Set a course for Yalinar, please.
Very well.
Yes, Thane.
Belasco, just share your telemetry data with Sally, and let's get a bit more specific than just Yalinar. We
It's
need to
already
track
done.
the source of that. Track the source of that signal and aim us for that.
I hold up
We
my
need
wrist
to
comp.
drop
Already
Fondy off.
done.
We need to drop Fondy off, and we need to restrict our access to her. So, Sally, I'm going to need you to contact her and wherever we've stashed her.
Oh, she's right in
somewhere
the
on
back
ship.
here.
Yeah.
She's actually taking a nap.
She needs to stay separate from us, just in case.
Actually,
okay.
she's proven immune to the effects, has she not? Maybe we
We
can
don't.
just babysit her.
We don't know enough about how this works to know if she is or not, or if it's genuinely contagious or not. But
Sally-
she should know what has happened to us.
Sally, do you have the ability to link up some sort of friendly fire system for our weapons?
Yeah, I can make sure it doesn't shoot at you.
Could you make sure that none of us are capable of firing at each other?
With the starship weapons, I can do that.
Hmm.
With your personal weapons, I think that might be beyond me. I don't think I can travel with you.
Very true.
Also, I just woke up Fondi. She's doing okay, but she's a little concerned that you're all having troubles now, and we've agreed that it might be best for her to stay in those quarters that she's in.
Very good.
We did ask the computer to be in charge.
Thank you, Sally. Tell Fondy that we are otherwise unharmed, and that we've discovered some clues, and we hope to bring an end to this situation shortly.
Before we completely lose our minds.
Well, I would like that too. Although I suppose I could travel back to Absalon Station, but on my own.
Please do so if we are all fully compromised, or of course if we die. Warn.
All right, so she lifts off of the starport landing pad, and I'm going to make some piloting checks for her.
Xana will grip the seat like she's afraid of the ship piloting itself.
She's a bit of a control freak.
I take my cigar and I pass it over to Zan.
I take it.
Hold it in you for a moment.
Calm.
It's got a vaguely musty, almost nostalgic kind of smell, like an attic or something, but a little spicy.
All right, so you lift off, and just as you remember coming into all the other the starports previously, taking off is no less bumpy of a ride. Sally actually does a pretty good job of piloting out in the winds. It seems that the learning nature of her programming is adapting to the changing of the winds at a very quick rate, and almost as fluid as Zan was able to bring the ship in. Sally has also done an excellent job bringing you all back out. Was the idea to go back up into orbit, or just to stay in the atmosphere?
Take us to those coordinates on the other continent that correspond with the radio signal.
Okay.
Whichever way is easier for her to fly us, whether it's up high or down low.
She recommends going back out into orbit to get outside of the winds.
Good plan.
So she's flying, so however she wants to.
We have an orbital hop. While we're on the way, did you manage to find anything else about the corresponding signals? I'm uploading fresh data.
So I'm afraid that the signal is too weak for me to understand too much about. It almost seems like, well, it reminds me of some heartbeat signals that I've seen before, where it's just a signal that just keeps repeating at a very predetermined rate, and usually there's a receiver that's looking for this signal, and as long as it's receiving the signal, things are fine. And if for some reason, for some length of time, the signals aren't received, then something triggers. And she sort of explains that I don't know that that's what's happening here, but just the frequency and the nature of this signal reminds me of some heartbeat signals that I use myself, and I know is very standard in communications.
Velasco, do you think you could search us for nanobots?
I doubt anything like that, but I'm certainly willing to take a look.
We got a lab on board, don't we? Let's get some blood and a microscope.
That's true. Do you want me to go physical sciences or medicine on that?
This is medicine.
Okay,
yeah,
let's do medicine. 25.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes you pretty much the entire time that you're in the air. So you draw some blood. Do you have whose blood are you going to use for this?
Zan comes with me, right?
Yeah, I want to preoccupy myself while the ship flies itself.
All right. Take a blood culture from Zan and myself, do a comparative analysis to the previous ones that I took before, and as I'm working, say, This is a lot of bad news. The signal was stronger where we had the hallucination, but the suggestion is that the removal of the signal is what causes a problem. Simultaneously...
Well, that's a typical heartbeat system, but what if it's the other way around? What if this is a keep alive signal?
True, but why isn't it affecting the locals the same way? Perhaps we're having an inverse effect. We're safer where they're more at risk.
What's the nature of this signal? You were using radio waves? Is that what you were tracking earlier?
Something like that.
Because radio waves, that's very old-fashioned.
Well, it still has its utility.
Apparently.
You do remember seeing a lot of older technology on this planet, so just the fact that it was older technology, it shouldn't be too surprising. I mean, right. even modern day technology, like everything's like radio signals are fairly common method of communication for moderate distances. It's a pretty good form of communication for
it works. It's cheap.
Yeah.
Well, and it could also just be something that shows up on sensors as a radio frequency, right? Like we know there's some weird stuff going on, so it might just be that that's how the sensors are, translating it.
Well, there is one other problem. The signal was especially strong according to my sensors, but we were within 100 meters of the ship, and it didn't detect anything especially stronger here.
Well, my thought process is that we're infected with something that's picking up this signal and reacting to it.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure of that.
I'm not sure.
After all, whatever affected them when they got back to the station was still affecting them, but they didn't appear to be broadcasting anything of their own.
That's a good point.
I suspect it's a localized phenomena. To be honest, the wisest course would probably simply be to quarantine the planet until a more dedicated science crew can come down and analyze it with better tools, better training and personnel. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, unless we can find the source ourselves, we're most likely going to be affected, potentially permanently.
Fane's voice will crackle across the radio, like the in-ship comms, having sat and kind of brooded. It's not quite brooding when it's Fane, it's thoughtfulness. But it would look a lot like brooding in somebody that wasn't as relentlessly optimistic as him. He will just kind of suddenly perk up and just trigger the shipboard comms. Say, we're not going mad. We saw the same thing. There's a word for seeing the same thing with other people, and it's illusion spells. There's a word for mass hallucinations, and that is trickery. It need not be a disease. It need not be an illness. It need not only be a spell. Hybrid items. It could be a combination. Technology is real, magic is real, curses are real, druids are real. We will discover what this is. But my friends, I tell you, it is not madness. Madness is not shared between people. I saw you get shot, Zan. I saw you get beaten. You did not imagine that. We imagined it together, and such tricks are not beyond technology or science. We've seen Belasco do the same thing. He did it in this very fight. It need not be madness, and let us be careful how we speak about one another, and about ourselves. We will solve it, friends. It's what we are here to do. And then he'll kill the comms, and then go back to kind of brooding.
I guess that's our pep talk.
As he's been talking, Belasco's been rolling his eyes and keeping his work. As soon as it stops, I've seen mass hallucination. They call it religion. On the other hand, I don't recall there being any magical signals. I'd be careful about Thane. I think his madness is showing in talking too much.
Well, regardless of that, is there anything in the blood?
You don't find anything in the blood work that would be abnormal. You see the elevated chemicals for going through an event like what you just did, through combat and stuff like that. Elevated stress and all that stuff. That seems perfectly in line.
Heightened degrees of adrenaline. Nope, this is not an infection. I would say this is a signal. But, as we know from the previous crew, the effects can be lasting.
Well, that just means it drives you crazy after a while.
It means we have to find the source.
Yeah. Sally pipes up. Hey, the signal's getting stronger as we're approaching Yalinar.
Well, hone us in on that signal, if you would.
Okay.
Thank you, Sally.
You're doing an excellent job.
All
I
right.
head back to the bridge.
I'll follow.
It seems like it's going a little bit. Yeah, east. West. Yeah, west of the capital city. Yeah, there seems to be something over in that area. Huh.
Do you see any sensor scans of civilization, structures, anything like that in that location?
Was there gas?
Well, I mean, we're still far out. There seems to be some towns and things out there. There's a mountain and there's there could be mines out there. I don't know. We'll have to get closer.
Try to bring us in closer. Focus sensor sweep, and also look for appropriate landing spots as close as possible, if you would.
Okay. This is taking a lot of my attention just to fly the ship. Maybe someone else would be better using the sensors. Hold on. Oh gosh, this is getting really dangerous.
Just focus on flying. We'll take care of the rest.
All right. So
yeah, I'll man the sensors. I'll mouse the sensors.
Ah!
I have computers, engineering, whatever it is.
Do you have any sort of sciences? Or engineering might work.
I have engineering, life science, physical science.
All right, let's just use computers to use the ship's sensors.
Awesome.
I'll make a supporting roll.
And don't forget, I believe we've got really good sensors on the ship. I will pull up the stats to double. But I believe we had split it where there was a bonus that we had available.
I rolled a 14, and so that brings the total to 22.
I rolled a 22, so whatever bonus that adds for her.
That'll add 2 additional, so 24.
And what is what's the tier of our ship?
Oh goodness.
I know we're Pegasus. It comes in tier 2, 4, 6, 8, etc.
Oh, it's the 2. It's
the basic one.
Yeah, it's the basic.
So we get a +2 to computers checks, and a +1 to any 2 checks per round, which sounds to me like that's going to be a +1 to Sally's piloting roll, and another +1 to the sensors check. So add 3 to that.
Okay, so 27. Yeah. So it doesn't take very long of Sally kind of flying around to grab a few different points of data to triangulate on a specific region on a mountain, on a line of mountains. And there's a particular town that's sort of at the base of one of the mountains that seems most likely to be the place you want to go.
Sally, do your best to try to land in this general area. We're going to use the sensors to find you an appropriate landing spot. You focus on flying.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's really bad here. And the ship starts to kind of like bounce and shake. Can everyone give me a reflex save?
23.
17.
14, so an 18 total.
Okay. You hear a big like thud come from the room where Fondi was staying.
Oh no.
And you hear her scream, "Ow! Holy crap! That hurts!" And then some words in a language you don't understand. And Sally says, "Oh, sorry. I think I can get it under control now." Yeah, and then things kind of like settle down a bit. It's still bumpy, but not like violently shaking. Can you give me a computer roll to help find a suitable location to set down the ship?
Absolutely. 27.
I rolled a 21 for a +2, and there's the +3 from the ship, right, Rusty?
Yeah. So you find a very good place to land. That's only a few hundred meters away from some of the buildings of the town. And so you point out to Sally, and she makes she has some more trouble with the piloting, and
Maybe Sarah should be flying anyway.
but eventually she gets it under control, and she misses it the first time coming around to flying it. The winds are too much, and she has to kind of like pull back up and come back around. But she does eventually manage to settle down onto the landing zone. The village, or the town, is fairly small. You figure somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 50 buildings total. Most of them have the same sort of windmills and wind turbines, although they're much smaller than what you saw in some of the large cities that you had just went to. There's no sort of indicated like a starport type of a thing. You're pretty sure that no one here is going to be able to speak to you, and there's no welcoming party or anything like that. You are left to your own devices. So with that, this feels like a really good place to sort of wrap up for today. Thank you all for playing. Hope you had a good time. Thank you everyone out in Twitchverse for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed the session as well. So with that, we will cut out, and we will see you all next time.
And stick around for the hangouts.
Bye. Hey, so thanks again, everyone, for hanging out. We had a good time today. Glad to finally to be back and getting the story moving again.
I also had fun, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was an interesting session.
You were not happy.
Mildly.
Yeah.
Things could have gone much worse.
Yeah, things could definitely be much worse. That's definitely true.
We can always still slaughter this village.
I mean, you could do a lot worse with like mass hallucinations than attacking nothing, right? Like we could have been attacking one another, for instance. Yeah, or
let me make some notes.
Bus full of nuns.
You don't want to fight that stuff until we've had a couple more levels to pick up cleave.
Yeah, you want to be like level 4 before you fight nuns and kindergartners.
Go all Anakin.
Take on the younglings, right?
I mean, in fairness, there is a proud tradition there.
Yeah, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. That was not a hallucination.
Go to a place a lot better than this. I'm going to Lava World.
So things could have been better. Things could have been worse. That's how games are supposed to go most of the time.
No, I think things went really well.
Yeah, me too.
We did fine. We proved that we can fight nothing more than adequately. We got a whole lot of clues.
We kicked nothing's ass.
We kicked the right ass for the situation.
We got to eat finger food and drink tea, and nobody died. So that's a good day, man.
I got to roll more stuff, so I take this as a personal success. That's the pregnant pause I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I forgot. I completely forgot my spell D stuff because I did not expect that dice to work at all.
Well, it affects challenge rating 3 or lower, and we're only level 2. So I don't expect Erica to be throwing, level 6 baddies at us just yet.
Well, and keep in mind that's the individual would have to be CR3 or higher.
Yeah, so you'll get some mileage out of days for a little bit, I think.
It's always worth throwing a 0 level spell up.
Yeah, then you layer all kinds of meta magic on it, It's like maximized ray of
days.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Extended days.
Yeah, but by the time you can meta magic at days, you're probably not fighting challenge rating 3 baddies. So,
that's the fun of it. Killing a red dragon with nothing but ray of frost. That's you should get a free feat for that one.
One of my favorite memories was when I was in high school playing with a buddy, and his dad was the GM in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and we were fighting a baby or a young red dragon. And my last spell as a level 1 or 2 wizard was a sleep spell. Figured I had no chance, and back then it was like a % chance, and it just barely worked. It was 15% or so chance of success on this thing, and it worked. And it was just a really epic moment because I was out of spells. This is the last chance. Our fighter was going down, and our rogue was about dead. It was just
heck yeah,
like a clutch moment of the least likely thing. The last entire battle.
Yeah, the last dragon we fought was in a Fate game that we were trying to D&Dify. Basically, we were kludging on a bunch of fantasy stuff to Fate Core, but my fighter ranger dude downed a couple potions that the GM forgot we had, and I used a super ninja growth potion along with a leaping potion stacked with several of my badass grappling feats, and he had the dragon circling in the very large cavern, and we weren't able to do much to it, and I jumped up and I fucking grappled it, and I wrestled the dragon to the ground, and then we wailed on it. It was pretty dope. I dislocated its wing in later turns. I kept improving the grab, so I was doing fucking dwarven jujitsu to a dragon, and Osi was like, I did not see that coming. That was not how that fight was supposed to go. And I don't remember who killed that. I'm trying to recall.
Oh, you did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I did.
There you go. The Queen of Monsters.
I got the final blow on that one.
Yep. Queen of Monsters finished it off. It was
I was the
badass.
Queen of Monsters. That's the best title ever.
I have 2 good dragon stories, but I don't want to take up the whole time, so you guys pick. The time I used Animate Dead a weird way, or the time that I used Evard's black tentacles to make a new friend?
Oh my gosh.
Which
You
one
choose.
Which one is sexier? Because when you say anime,
It's like tentacles.
Tentacles?
The tentacles,
tentacles are
not the
always
way you
secure.
think.
but if you specifically say animate dead, but in a weird way, like it sounds kind of scandalous.
You pick, and you'll find out.
Let's go tentacles. Let's get
Yeah.
smart.
Okay.
I think I just have to know what that is.
So I had an ongoing character. This was with like early Pathfinder, and we were mixing in some like old D&D stuff, like the 3.5, and I was playing one of my signature characters, Vandal, who's like a rogue vampire necromancer eldritch knight. Surprise!
What?
And so I was soloing that game. It had gotten a little high powered, but I was the only one against everything in a dungeon. And it was, do you guys remember Forge of Fury from 3.0?
Nope.
Great little adventure, but we come down to, I get down to this, the bottom of this whole big dungeon, and there's a teenage black dragon and her little horde. So I
Call the
come,
cops.
you would think.
That's how that works in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just say.
So, wow, dude. So, so she surprises me popping out of the water, but I surprise her by wailing on her, but she's kicking my ass in a stand-up fight. So on just I'm like, screw it. I have spell stitching, which we had as tattoos that gave me a few spells per day, and the last spell I had left in it was black tentacles. So I cast it. They come up and they tie her down, and I make a perfect intimidate check, and I'm just like, stop or I will kill you. My sword right on her head, and she's like, fine, I'll stop. I'm like, all right. We don't have to be enemies. And she's like, you've come for my horde. And I look at this tiny little pile of silver and like silverware and crap, and I go, She's like, what? I go, I have more treasure than that. She goes, clearly you don't. And I'm like, okay. I had a modified bag of holding. I had cast extraplanar space into it repeatedly with a lot of treasure that I got. So it was essentially a pocket dimension like you see in modded Skyrim and the like. So I'm like, come with me. I take her into this like Twilight world and tower and shit. And earlier I had made a beach with a cave, but I didn't know what to do with it. And so I was like, someday I'll need this. So I lead her down to this cave by the beach, and I go, would you say this is a better place to like keep your horde where nobody's going to get it? She's like, what if you take it? I'm like, I could collapse the dimension and kill everything in here, but then again, I could have killed you. I think you should come with me, because anywhere you can help me, you get a share of the treasure. And she's like, what treasure? I take her to my horde, because I never throw out jewelry and treasure items. And she goes, holy crap. I go, yeah. So why don't you come with me? And that's how I gained a teenage black dragon as an NPC follower.
That's nice.
Which
I like
later had a lot of twists and turns. She got like permanently polymorphed into a humanoid state at one point, which led to all kinds of character hijinks, but it was a lot of fun.
Sounds like a hot mess.
I just wanted to make a meme of you on social media for like, call the cops, Kevin. And
There's already a you can't block them all, Kevin.
all right, it's fair.
But you can.
So,
Yeah, my response was, watch me, blocked.
Yeah, dragon stories are normally a good time. Nice.
Made a stick of what?
Like a real stick.
This isn't this. It defined. I mean, sure. I mean, it was an adamantine +5 Holy Avenger club, but it was a stick.
But it was a stick.
Stick shape.
Which, speaking of sticks, Eric, I don't think you're off the hook for carrying some sort of blunt wooden bludgeon device. Like,
Let's just skip that. Sometimes words just like disappear from my brain.
I don't want you to think that we didn't notice.
I want to know what kind of setting it is where you can fire a plasma bolt at a freaking stick, and it's just like
It's a windy planet.
piece of crap.
This one.
Very strong.
You roll low damage. I mean, it's just the nature of hit points and stuff.
I know it's the hardness 5 that gets me.
Yeah.
Like I can burn through
hardness.
a human faster than I can burn through a stick.
Yeah.
I need armor made of sticks because apparently I get DR5.
How funny.
I don't make the rules.
Just
I'm not blaming you.
I know.
the woes of being low-level adventurers. Nothing comes easy.
This is high-tech stuff.
I'm defeated by a stick. That's good.
Do we keep going, or was that a closing note? That sounded so...
Final.
Well, I could tell you... I could tell you the other dragon story if you guys aren't tired of my yammering.
We still haven't got any questions from the chat, but I feel like they've had time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the window's closed, guys. Sorry. We're on dragon stories now.
Yep. Yep.
Go, Kevin.
So you guys
All
want...
right. Lay
You
it
guys wanna
on
hear?
us.
Okay. All right. Are you guys familiar with the Pathfinder adventure, The Harrowing?
You guys play a lot more
Yes.
adventures.
I've heard of it,
than I
but I haven't played it.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I've
This
played
has this is a little spoilery, so if you want me to stop, I can stop now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so same character. I go through the whole thing of the harrowing. The big bad of this is a storybook dragon. Everything here is like some kind of imaginary creature. You're sort of sucked into a storybook situation. So there's this elder blue dragon that's basically trying to make itself real. And it's going about it in an extraordinarily horrific way by taking the bodies of all the people that have been sucked in here and skinning them and replacing its own flesh with the flesh of people.
It's a cute
Very,
scenario.
very J horror. So I'm like, I mean, I'm a necromancer. I'm going, And so I'm launching fireballs and doing all my thing. Remember, this is me alone versus an elder red dragon or elder blue dragon. So I'm like, okay, this sucks. So again, I'm on my last legs. It's, I will transcend any second now. And I go, hey, does that flesh count as dead? GM looks at me and goes, no. Oh, come on. I'm like, is it dead? Or is this a storybook creature alive? So the flesh is alive because it's a part of it? Or is this still dead? She goes, I'll count it as dead. I cast Animate Dead on its stolen skin. She goes, ah! And so I literally cause its own skin to rip off of it and then start strangling it and grappling it.
Ah!
Whereupon
Painful.
so it's grappled. So I'm like, okay, I just run up and start hacking away at it and doing what I can. So that's the time I used Animate Dead to cause the stolen skin of a storybook dragon to strangle itself.
You.
Not bad.
Wow.
You're so special.
What?
There's just
Come on.
interesting situations.
That's The most commonly heard thing from my GMs tends to be, look, I don't like it, but that's creative enough, I have to let it work. So.
That's fair.
So there's my story. Briefer. If you think that's sexy, Rusty, that's up to you, but that's the story.
Sorry, I can't talk. Completely unrelated. I just thought it'd be a funny note to say goodbye on.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. It was a fun time. As Mr. Johnson said, we'll be back in February. In the meantime, we will have some exciting things coming in January. And until next time, I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season and New Year. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Holidays, everybody.
Wow.